So thank you for being there. Good afternoon, everybody. So we will speak about mobile devices today, mobile malware. I'm sure that you all heard about the Pegasus stories, and we will cover that. We'll speak about APT groups. We'll speak about smishing or phishing via SMS. So I'm Bastien Bob. I'm the field CTO EMEA. I'm sure that you heard that I'm not English native. I'm French. I work at Lookout for more than almost 6 years now. Covering mobile threats, covering mobile security, covering cloud security, covering the data security that you have on your phone as well. And today we'll speak about the mobile threat landscape. I will try to show you some concrete examples of mobile devices used in malware or ransomware attack. We will speak about the APT group targeting mobile devices without any piece of malware. So we will speak about that. And I will just briefly explain how we can block this kind of threat, how we can detect that, and how you can integrate mobile security into your defensive framework. So who is targeting mobile devices today? We have basically four kinds of population, four kinds of, it's not only malicious, because if you look at the first one, the intelligence services, they are using spyware technology to doing good, to fight counter-terrorism, to fight against organized crime. They are using Pegasus, they are using Hermit, they are using piece of technology to spy on people, mainly bad people, to get information, to get data, to get intelligence from their mobile devices today. But we have also state-sponsored APT groups. They will use the same kind of spying technology. And we have ransomware groups that won't spy on people, but they will use mobile devices as entry points to infiltrate the IT organization of any company in the world. So I will give you two examples of that. And then, of course, you have scammers. I'm sure that you all receive phishing message to scam you and ask you for a couple of dollars, euros, pounds, because there is a parcel block in the custom. We won't speak about that today, but that exists. It's mainly phishing. It's mainly financial extortion or stealing personal data. So let's dig into the software used by nation state. So I'm sure that you all heard about Pegasus. Who did not hear about Pegasus before? Everybody knows Pegasus? Okay, you don't know, okay. So Pegasus, if you look on internet, you will find a lot of press articles. It's seeing the most advanced nation state piece of technology to spy on private citizens, to spy on journalists, to spy on activists. This is basically a spyware, a surveillanceware, that's how we call, but they are selling that. They are selling this kind of technology to nation states for them to spy on bad people. So we are speaking about terrorists, we are speaking about organized crime, and all of them, NSO groups, Cyphergate, RCS, Intellexa, Quadrim, all of these companies, they are doing a lot of money, a lot of business with this kind of nation state. They are selling the piece of technology. They make sure that they can deploy their spying technology on mobile devices. And how do they do that? If we look at the mobile threat landscape, there are a lot of customers. So Pegasus has been used recently in the Azerbaijan-Armenia conflict. It has been used also in a lot of countries in South America and in Morocco as well. If we look at Predator, we know that it has been used as well, mainly in Israel as well. And then we have Triangle DB that may have spied on Russian people. It has been highlighted by Kaspersky. And the new one, the newbie, Sherlock, another Israeli company saying that, okay, they can infiltrate mobile devices and deploying their spyware technology. So how do they work? Exactly the same. They all follow the same process. They are using mobile devices vulnerability on application, on the operating system, on iOS, on Android. They are using the vulnerability to deploy their piece of technology, to deploy their spyware technology. So they use that with remote code execution with or without user interaction. So we call that zero-click or one-click. Most of them, like Pegasus or Citrox, or Paragon, they are using zero-click attack. So you don't see anything on your mobile device. They just need to have your phone number or your WhatsApp account or your Telegram account, and they send you a piece of spyware that will be able to spy on you to be installed without any user interaction. So you won't see it on your device, except maybe high bandwidth, maybe the device will be warmer than usual because the spyware will exfiltrate some data, but you won't see it. There will be nothing to see on the device. So they will use kernel exploitation, they will use a piece of technology to gather some intel on your device to spy on you. They will be able to activate microphone or camera or track your GPS location everywhere. And then if you restart your device, they will reuse the same vulnerability or a new one to redeploy the software again. This is how nation state are using, our police department are using that piece of technology today. So they are finding new vulnerabilities on every iOS or Android release, any WhatsApp release. They are searching for vulnerability to make sure that their customer can deploy their technology on mobile devices. And if we look at this vulnerability market, it's really lucrative. So if we look at Signal, if we look at Russian, proposing more than $1.5 million to find a remote code execution for Signal. Same for this Twitter account that asked for iOS RCE or Android RCE. And there was one that has been identified yesterday. I will just cover that in a few minutes. So if you find a vulnerability on mobile device, on a mobile application, you can sell that to Apple, you can sell that to Google or Facebook, or you can sell that to the black market. And of course, the money won't be legit, but that's a huge amount of money. And we also saw some strange behavior of application on the Google Play Store. I don't know if you heard about TeamU or Pinduoduo. I'm sure that you all saw an ad on TeamU because they spend a lot of money on marketing. I'm sure that all of you have seen this orange application. TeamU is a shop application that is really, really high deployed today, and it's written by Pinduoduo. And Pinduoduo previously had an application on the Play Store that was exploiting a device vulnerability, an Android device vulnerability, to spy on their customer. So they were actively spying on their customers through an application that was available on Google Play Store. It's not TeamU, it was the application Pinduoduo, but it's the same vendor. And at the beginning, TeamU had this specific code. So TeamU was designed to spy on their customer base as well. So they claim, so they have 100 people searching for vulnerability, mainly on Android devices, and they claim that it was to gather information about their customer base to sell more. Of course, it was a marketing approach, but it's still illegal to spy on people, especially with an application on the Play Store. And if we look at vulnerability on iOS or Android, we have legion of vulnerability identified by Google, by Apple in the last few weeks, months, years. And each time a new version is available, like this one for the Android December bulletin, which is not available yet if you have a Pixel device. As you can see, I think it's written there somewhere. Yeah, most severe of these issues, critical security vulnerability that could lead to proximal or adjacent code execution. That means that you don't have to do anything, and anybody can use this vulnerability to install something or at least to run something on your mobile device. And Apple is doing that almost every month on every release. You can see on the release note that this vulnerability has been exploited in the wild. It has been exploited by people like Pegasus or Hermit. So that's what we do at Lookout. We started our research in the mobile security space in 2007. And then in 2016, we discovered Pegasus. So we were the first one. We worked with Citizen Lab at that time to identify and to expose NSO. The name of the software is Pegasus, so it's not new. Maybe you heard that recently, but it's not a new technology. It's something that they are selling to nation state for years now, at least 2014, I think. So we exposed them in 2016, and then we continue in that space. We exposed several zero-day, we exposed several groups like that, spying on people or deploying spying technology to spy on private citizens. So that's what we did in the past, that we are still doing that. And then a couple of years ago, we moved our research also to include APT groups, mainly Chinese and Russia or Middle Eastern APT groups, targeting private citizens through malicious application or through the vulnerability exploitation. So if we look at Chinese group like APT41, they create thousands of applications to spy mainly on Chinese people, but also to Western people. And we exposed APT41 a couple of months ago with another version of their spying technology. The name is William Spy or Dragon Egg. This is two different families targeting mainly Uyghur people, but also we have seen this application on the Western European devices as well. We also expose Bullspy, which is an Android spyware used by the Iranian government, spying again on minority groups by the Iranian government. You can find this article on our blog as well. And then recently we exposed a new version of Bad Bazaar. Bad Bazaar is another Chinese APT group. It's APT15 this time, but we found a lot of malware sample of Bad Bazaar, and we expose this Chinese APT. So if you want to read every kind of data that we have on this Chinese group or the Bullspy Android spyware, we create a lot of blog articles that you can read on our website, lookout.com. Then we expose also RCS Lab and Hermit, the piece of technology. Same thing, this is sold mainly to nation state to spy on people, but we saw that application deployed through the Italian carrier. So it's an application that the carrier himself can deploy to spy on private citizens. So it's really important to be able to detect that, because you won't see that again, you won't have anything to do. The carrier will be used to deploy the application on your mobile device. You don't have to click on anything. So all of these hacking groups, they are using the same techniques to infiltrate your mobile devices, to basically to execute something on your device. They will use social engineering to gather information about you, about your company. They will gather your phone number, because this is the entry point. It's equivalent on the IP address of the phone. This is a phone number. If I have your phone number, I have basically direct access to your mobile device. I can just send you an SMS, I can send you an iMessage, and this can contain a malicious payload to execute a vulnerability. So I will be able to gain access, I will be able to elevate my privilege, and I will be able to steal data on your mobile device or use your mobile device as an entry point to every application or every service that you have on your phone. Work profile, personal profile, we don't care. As soon as we have a piece of technology spying on you, we will be able to exfiltrate data from your phone or use your phone resources to spy on people and exfiltrate data, corporate data or personal data. So if we look at the APT group, that's the top 10, I would say, people targeting mobile devices. They are not only, I would say, 100% dedicated to mobile, but if we look at APT41, if we look at Lazarus, if we look at Domestic Kitten in Iran or Sandstorm in Russia, they all have a sort of business unit targeting mobile devices or developing piece of technology to spy on people, to exfiltrate data on mobile devices. I think the only one that is mostly focused on mobile is Roaming Mantis from China, but all of them, all the other one, I'm sure that you all saw them in a ransomware attack recently, not only related to mobile devices. And if we look at the nationality and the country of origin of all the APT groups that we discovered in the last, I think it's 4 or 5 years, most of them are from China. But as you can see, we have also a huge track of record in Pakistan, in India, in Iran, in Russia. And some of them, like a Lebanon group named Dark Caracal, they are hack for hire. So they don't have a specific nationality, and they just there to spy on people and to develop piece of technology to spy on people. And we have seen people like Scatter Spider. Yeah, let me go back there. Scatter Spider, I'm sure that you heard about them in the recent Las Vegas ransomware attack. So they have hacked, I think it was Caesar Palace and MGM a couple of weeks ago, maybe early October. And Scatter Spider is one of the most active groups that we see today in mobile devices. And Group IB created a report, a nice report that I used to create that slide. It started via phishing SMS. They made a huge social engineering campaign weeks before that attack. They gather information about the IDP used by the companies. They register some domain name. As you can see in this one, they selected a lot of domain like Box, Twilio, KuCoin, Binance, Epic Games. All of these were targets of this kind of attacks. All of these companies were using an IDP. It can be Okta, it can be Azure, but they were replicating the IDP page, and they send text message to IT people, so people with privileged access, saying that there is an issue with your password or there is an issue with this specific system, with a link, so it was an SMS with a link, to this specific domain that they registered. And it looks legit. If you click on that, it's not victim.okta.com as it should be, it's victim-okta.com. So if you're in a hurry, if you're in the transportation system, you may click on that link, and basically you will be redirected to an Okta portal or Azure portal that will look like your company. And then it will be easy for you to be scammed, entering your username, your password, and then the next step is to provide the OTP. And everything was exfiltrating in real time on the Telegram channel, and they found almost 10,000 credentials and more than 5,000 MFA. And this is the only thing that you need to instantly replicate that, having the access to the corporate environment, and then you have access to a privileged account in a real corporate environment. You have the login, you have the password, and you have the MFA. That's all that you need. And everything started with a click on the link. Really well done, of course. It's quite smart. But then, of course, they steal some data, and they detonate a ransomware just a few months or a few weeks after. But everything started with a privileged account stolen from an SMS, stolen from a click on a phishing link. There is no piece of malware there at the beginning of the threat. At the beginning of the attack, it's just a scam. It's just social engineering used in a really smart way to spy on people, to send them a really well done phishing message using the same IDP. And of course, they are using that to do lateral movement. And as soon as they gather enough data, they will detonate a ransomware and they will ask a ransom. I think there was 135 companies targeted by this kind of attack, at least the successful attack. So it's not, you also the domain, the Binance, and all of these kind of companies, they have been targeted by this kind of attack. So attack tactics on mobile devices, it's really evolving quite fast. Everything starts with phishing. We have seen vulnerability exploitation for both iOS, Android, malicious application outside of the store, application from the Play Store, from the App Store. We have seen surveillanceware deployed to spy on people, to steal secrets from personal, from work profile, legitimate mobile application, collecting sensitive information about any user. So this is what we do at Lookout. We are the global leader in the mobile intelligence. So we create some reports, we do some research. Every day we highlight, we work with Google, we gather tons of applications, like 120,000 applications every day. We have 215 million of devices secured by Lookout application today. So we gather information from this device fleet, and we get the telemetry data. We analyze the telemetry data every day, and we create threat advisory, we create threat intelligence report. We do some phishing assessment reports to train your teams to make sure that they can't be scammed easily. Then, as you see, we do an on-site threat hunting to make sure that your team is able to be trained to understand what is the issue with the mobile devices. And we do YARA rules, we do IOC's information, we do public report. And if you go on our blog, if you go on our threat intelligence page, you will find all of these reports. Most of them are public now. And we do monthly intelligence report for private company, for public organization. And of course, we can protect the mobile devices because we will give you information, but for some of you, it may not be enough. You may want to protect your mobile devices against mobile phishing, against malicious application, against device compromise through an application or through a text message. So this is what we do. We are the global leader there. We have 215 million of devices, almost 300 million of applications. So we have the large data set of mobile application today. So if you want to try that by yourself just to make sure that your phone is secured, you can just install Lookout. So this is a legitimate application. It won't be a scam. You can just download the application from the Play Store, from the App Store. Just use that code on as many devices as you want. And if you have some questions, I think we still have 5 minutes for questions. Or you can continue the discussion on our booth 218. Yeah, so I don't know if we have a microphone for the questions. Yeah, so anybody has a question? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Which operating system are you using personally?
I'm using a Pixel phone because this is the only way.
It's Graphene then. Graphene OS?
No. I'm using an Android device. A Pixel device. This is the only way to get the latest Android service patch level on day one globally. So yeah, you can use iOS. If you have a security patch on iOS, it's available almost on every devices on day one. And same for Android. If you want to have the vulnerability patched on day one, you need to use a Google device. So I'm using a Pixel. What device are you using? An iPhone. A latest model or no? Yeah. So patch it because there is a new vulnerability identified this week. So I don't know if you updated. What's your phone number? I can try. Yeah. Any other questions?
Hiya. It's rumored that app installers, third-party app installers are coming to iOS soon. Obviously, at the moment, they're quite big on Android. What do you think about that? And do you think that Apple are sort of sacrificing security for features in that regard?
Yeah, so they just to give you a little bit of context there, the European Union has forced Apple to allow external store or third-party store to sell application, and that's that will be normally live before March next year. So otherwise, they won't be compliant with the European Union, and they will allow siloed application. But if you think about that today, it's already possible to siloed an application on an iOS device. They may not give you the documentation to do that on the apple.com website, but it's already available. So in terms of security, that won't change anything for us, that won't change anything for them. You don't need to jailbreak your device to siloed an application today. It will just make that more, I would say, make the public aware about this capability, but it won't change a lot in terms of operating system or in terms of change. But of course, this application will be validated by Apple anyway. The store provider will have to be validated by Apple. But to be honest, they did not communicate that much on this kind of new feature because it will be a feature and it will be limited to European Union. So what we don't know today is how they will make the difference between devices in the EU and devices in the US or elsewhere in the world, because it should be the same operating system. So we don't know exactly how they plan to do that, but they plan to do that soon because they have 3 months to comply. So in terms of malware, I don't know if it will bring more malware on the iOS because malware already exists, even on the App Store. But it will be a new entry point, a new kind of maybe trick to make the user, to create new scams, to make the user think it's a legitimate third-party application, but then just silo the application the normal way. So I'm sure that we will find new method, new hacking technology, using that marketing action from Apple to try to silo the application on devices.
Thank you.
Other than the phone heating up, what are some other indications that you may have a zero-click mobile exploit on your phone?
Sorry, I didn't.
Other than the phone heating up, what are some other indications you may have a zero-click exploit on your mobile phone?
So there is a lot of manifests, because the first thing, so if you look at Pegasus, if you look at Predator, the first action of this kind of technology, it's to jailbreak the device, to bypass the sandbox, to execute some codes to exploit a vulnerability to bypass the sandbox, because with the sandbox, they can't do anything on both iOS and Android. So the first thing is to bypass the sandbox. And this is what we do. We try to detect if the sandbox is able to be bypassed by our application. That means that the device is jailbroken already. Same for iOS or Android. So then we can have access to the file system that we normally can't read from an application, a legitimate application from the App Store. You can't read the TMP file system. You can't read the user private information. But as the sandbox is off or bypassed, then you can do that. So you can basically read the file system, grab the manifest from the device, and see if there is some indicator of compromise from a previous attack or from a current attack. So that's how we do. That's how MTD Mobile Threat Defense Actor does that. We try to act the same way than a malicious actor will do, but we try to do that to gather information, to gather IOC from the device. Yeah, we're good. So if you want to continue the discussion, it's booth 218. Thank you. Thank you very much.